You're listening to Sine FM here. This is a gathering show Friday night. Special feature for the evening. We're joined here with our special guests, Tom Price and the fabulous bassist Lee Nash out of the Toy Chains. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, I'm not so bad myself, mate. Actually, I'm good. I'm having a very good day myself.
Very good day, Tom.
Yeah.
Good for you. How about yourself, Lee?
I'm always good, mate. Always good.
All right, good. Well, thanks very much for joining us. So, the Toy Chains, give us a little bit of an intro for the listeners who might not have heard you so far. So, the Toy Chains, how would you define yourself as a genre, firstly, if I ask you, Lee?
I've always thought of us as an indie rock, but there's a bit of everything in there, really. A bit of everything mixed in. We just write all our own songs, so they've got like the Toy Train sound, really. You just need to listen to the Toy Trains to hear what that sound is.
All right, Tom.
I was asked when I uploaded the album, what genre we are to be sort of pigeonholed, and it I put us down as rock pop. I don't know, we're too sort of heavy to be a pop band, obviously, but indie rock is a very broad title for me. But I mean, it's always really hard to I guess classify yourself as a genre. Particularly, but yeah, for sure. I mean, me listening to your music, it's definitely got that indie feel, really nice live acoustic and rock in quite a few elements of the songs that I've heard. Anyway, so you're a 4-piece band, is that right?
We are, yeah.
Yeah, and Lee, do you want to introduce all of the members of the band to the show?
We've got the amazing Dennis Price on lead guitar, who never fails to astound me every time we play something. And then we've got the amazing Alistair Pearson on drums, and he's probably the best drummer I've ever worked with. Really talented lad.
You were tight, you two. You spent a lot of time working on the rhythm section, didn't you?
We were great to work with, But to be honest, it was pretty much there already, because Alistair is quite an experienced drummer and I'm quite an experienced bass player, so it was easy for us to gel, but how quickly we gelled was surprising.
Fantastic. So you've been going for how long now? Around about 10 years, is it? 7, 8 years? I've got my research right?
I think, you might be right. You might be right. Yeah.
Give a sigh of relief there.
There have been moments where I've been Mardy and not played for a bit.
You're a musician, you're allowed to be Mardy.
Yeah.
It was 2013, I believe, when we released Remedy, which was our first real sort of Toy Trains album when Mark Williams was in the band. And there's one track off that, I Want Gold, opens the album, actually. I know that was for me when we made that tune. That was a sort of when I started thinking, this is I'm enjoying this. This is working this band as a it was sort of rocky and it was riffy as well. I think that's when we realised when we got you on the bass and we'd had the guitar. That's when I realised it was going to work. You know what I mean? So
what song was that?
I Want Gold.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a favourite of Dennis's. I think he always thought it should be longer, and he might have been right, I suppose.
So is I Want Gold on the obviously we're doing this interview here because you're bringing out a greatest hits album. Fantastic. Is I Want Gold on the greatest hits album, Tom?
Yeah, it's the first track. It's the opener. I thought it was a good sort of upbeat opener, which is what I like albums to do. If it's that sort of music, and it's edgy. It was the first track we got played on radio. We got it played on Trax FM.
Yeah, I was just going to say wasn't that the first track that Trax FM played?
Yeah, it was. I thought. Well, I thought we could have played some of the others off the album. I mean, it was the EP, wasn't it? I guess it was. Yeah. It was the best one on the EP for me by a long way. So I thought when they asked me to send them one, I thought, well, I'll send them that, and it did disappoint me.
So when does the greatest hits album come out then, and what record label are you on again?
It was last week. It came out last Friday, I believe. So it's on Spotify, iTunes, and all that. We're running it. We're running with a distribution company called CD Baby.
CD Baby.
Yeah, and they're collecting the royalties mechanically for us. And I think I've just signed up for the PRS as well. So we should be able to. We might be able to get some backdated sort of recognition for what plays we've had and things like that. should be interesting.
Well, we love you playing on Sine FM here. It's fantastic. So when did it come about that you were going to start launching a greatest hits album? Then what's the driving force behind that?
It was we always planned to do one. What the plan was, get the EPs together. I think me and Lee had discussed it because Lee was sort of asking direction. I remember him coming to me and I said, we'll record these EPs and then we'll go out and gig them live and sort of hone them down, and at the end of that, we'd take the best ones and re-record them after gigging them live, when they're tight. Obviously with that didn't happen, so we never got a chance to re-record them. And I was keen to get them online in a place where they could be sort of accessible for myself more than anyone, a place that I could sort of have them on in my car, and playing to my friends and what have you, and I thought to get them all out there was at once sort of put some of them together. My favourite ones was the best thing to do.
Thanks, Tom. So Lee, you're the bassist in the Toy Chains.
Yeah.
The Toy Chains for 5-6 years, is it? What's your kind of musical history, so to speak? When did you first start playing the bass?
I started playing bass when I ran out of lifts for my drums. I started as a drummer at 16, and obviously I couldn't drive at 16. I couldn't drive at 17, and I was using up girlfriends, dads, brothers, uncles, my uncles, friends, dads, anyone who would give me a lift. I scrounged a lift off, and I eventually ran out of lifts. And somebody said, "Why don't you sell your drums and buy a bass? You can get that on bus." So I did, and that was it. I became a bass player. Then been a bass player ever since.
Was it a duck out of water, or was it quite a long journey to proficient?
I actually took to it quite. I really wanted to play in a band, so I worked hard to get where I was and to get to the experience, to get the level that I needed to play in a band. So that's how it happened. But my influence I thought it was Paul McCartney for a little while, because all I ever played was Beatles songs. So that's how playing Paul McCartney covers was the way I learned to play bass. And I suppose that I don't know whether Tom will agree, but you can hear Paul McCartney in my bass playing, definitely.
I could sit in the backing vocals, Lee.
The backing vocals that I don't do.
Yeah, that's why I turned them off. No, I remember you had that. What they call it? Is it Hofner bass?
I've still got it. Yeah.
You were keen to do a Beatles cover band, weren't you?
I was. I did think about that, but playing original stuff is the thing for me.
It was for me. Yeah, I remember. When I was sort of writing songs, and it was me and Mark. I mean, when you approached us in the Rum Runner, I was over the moon when you said, I want to sort of.
Yeah, I was well impressed when you was playing that open mic. I even told the guys who I was sat with to shush while I listened to you.
So is that where you guys?
I was wanting to listen to you. So that's how it happened.
Sorry, Lee. Is that where you guys met then? So obviously the Rum Runner is a pub in Retford, and Tom, you've been doing open mic nights for many a moon. How did you two meet then, and the rest of the band get together? Tell me about that.
Well, I was sort of helping out with an open mic night. They started off having one, and somebody was running it, and then the person who was running it sort of bowed out, disappeared. But I would go down and set the gear up for it, and then people would turn up, and it just basically ran itself after that.
It was me that was running it. That's what happened.
Well, I know you ran it at a later date, but I was sort of setting the gear up, because you were quite new to the runner at that time, weren't you?
I were a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I know you took over and ran the open mics after that, but that particular night, I just set the gear up and was getting drunk with my mates.
I thought you were just a random drunk in the pub. I didn't realise you'd set it up.
No, I've actually been there since 7 o'clock, Tom. I'd set all the speakers up and the PA and everything, and plugged it all in. I
was sure me and Mark did it, mate. Anyway, don't matter.
So Lee, your influenced Paul McCartney for the bass in the Toy Chains, anyway, or at least one of. What about you, Tom? Obviously, Tom's the the lead singer and would you say lead guitarist, Tom?
No.
No, that's all down to Dennis.
They were doing the sound check, and when I'm not looking, they turn my guitar off. And that's
so
it.
go with lead singer.
Yeah.
Where are your influences from then, Tom?
I like songwriters. I like singer-songwriters. That I like the process of writing songs, and I like and what Lee and Alistair and Ted did was just made them better. And made them sort of from an acoustic song into something with more power and more clout, and made it more enjoyable. I could have gone out with my acoustic guitar gigging on my own, and it's just it's a lonely life, and to get together with some three brilliant guys, that are great to work with, and never squabbling or anything like that. It was excellent,
I mean, I've seen you guys at numerous gigs, and take it from me, listeners, they're fantastic live musicians. And when's the so beg your pardon, the CD's out? Is it already out, Tom?
It's not a CD. We're just doing it on as a live stream. We'll see how it goes. If anybody wants a hooky copy, then just give us a shout and I'll burn one off. But yeah, it's out, mate. It's out now. I've not seen our viewing. I don't know who's listening to it, but I've had a quick listen, and it works as an album. There's a few tracks that I think should have been on there that I've not put on there, just to help the flow of the album. I tried to put them in. I thought they don't work there. I thought I'll just leave them.
Can't they wait for the greatest hits too?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do another release, like a gold edition or something, and
the best of
the best of
the best of the best of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who? I mean, this is quite an interesting question for me anyway, speaking to bands, so to speak. Where is the kind of order? Do you all share the songwriting? How does it work for the Toy Trains? Lee, I'll ask you first.
Tom turns up to a rehearsal with a song on his acoustic guitar, and he plays it through 2 or 3 times, and we join in, and usually by the end of the rehearsal, it's become a song. It's very rare that we don't actually end the rehearsal with a completed song ready to go in the studio to record. We've actually written a song in a rehearsal before a gig and played it at the gig.
That takes some kahunas.
Well, it does, but I'm always scared before I go on stage anyway. As soon as I play that first note, I'm a rock star. But before that, I'm just a quivering jelly,
But when we first played a few gigs, I remember you used to be sort of, we'd be playing like the Blue Bell or something. You'd be in the toilets, like
blowing up.
Yeah, and it were fun. It's that excitement, it's that apprehension, because we were doing something, that felt to me like it was exciting, and that apprehension can affect you like that. And I think that's a good thing. I think
I was nervous because it was important to me, and I wanted to get it right.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's it. But like I said, once I play that first note and we're in, it's complete. I've become a different person for however long we're playing.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
So it's like I have an alter ego on stage. Like I'm a completely two different people, but the other person is the person who gets up on stage and plays.
So where can people find information about your greatest hits, and what are all your links?
I haven't got a specific link that's because it's always got like slashes and dots, and they never give you like a. If you get on Facebook and look for the Toy Trains, you'll see a picture of our beautiful faces online, and she'll be able to follow a link to our stuff. It's fairly accessible. It's on Spotify, iTunes. I think it's on iTunes now. It's on all major streaming platforms.
Is the YouTube channel still running?
I think I took everything off. I didn't want to. I think if we put it on there, I'm not sure we might get flagged. It might say this is not your music. If you know what I mean? Because it's I'm not sure. I'll look into it.
Fantastic. So that's Lee Nash and Tom Price of the Toy Trains. The Greatest Hits album is out now. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.